SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
It's a City of McComb City, Bonus City podcast, City episode, City.
Oh, it's always a joyous occasion when there's a reason for us to get together other than at 9:06 Monday through Thursday morning. But that's where we're at right now. In case you missed the news, as of Tuesday, the Pike County Sheriff's Department stopped accepting the prisoners from McComb. Anyone arrested on a felony in McComb, well, they're not going there. I don't know where they're going. If you've got space for rent, you might have an opportunity here. But Pike County Sheriff Wally Jones made that announcement on Tuesday. Monday afternoon, if you recall, we had a special called meeting of the Board of Mayor and Selectmen, and, I thought we'd take a little peek at exactly what prompted that announcement from Sheriff Wally Jones. We go back to Monday afternoon. 2 o'clock is when the special call meeting happened. You know, a convenient time for everyone. And in the discussion, Selectman Matt Cotting from Ward 2 asked a question about the agreement, and the discussion was about the Attorney General's opinion that McComb is claiming means that basically they get to pick what price they want to pay to have their prisoners housed. It's a little more complex than that, but that's what it boils down to. And at the meeting on Monday, the city attorney was asked to weigh in.
City attorney.
To that point, though, Selectman Cotting, I did send an email to the county attorney advising him that the city would be adjusting its payment to be in accordance with. I'm trying to get him to renegotiate the MOU, but the MOU is somewhat moot at this point, given the fact that it doesn't align with the AG's opinion. I would recommend to this board that you continue to retain Attorney Luckett, I think is the person, because there's no one here to track when a matter is held over, so he could report.
Bound over?
When bound over for indictment, because that is the trigger.
Okay.
If he would agree to do that. I hadn't talked to him. It's not my place. That's just a recommendation.
Okay.
What she's talking about there is when there is, let's say the city of McComb arrests someone for shooting and killing someone sitting in their driveway in their own vehicle at 10:15 at night. Hypothetical situation, because that kind of thing doesn't happen in McComb. It's a paradise, haven't you heard? Anyway, let's say that person is arrested, charged with murder. They get sent to the Pike County Jail, because that's the only place we have to house prisoners. They stay there when they are bound over to the grand jury. In other words, when the case is put together, it's sent to grand jury's deliberating on it. At that point, they become the county's responsibility. And the city is saying at that point, McComb should no longer have to pay for the housing of that prisoner once they're bound over to grand jury. The problem is coming in here where, a couple of things. Number one, the city attorney doesn't know the difference between being held and being bound over, but okay. According to Sheriff Wally Jones, it costs the county $55 a day to hold a prisoner at the jail. The county and the city agreed on a $40 per day charge for McComb inmates, and now the city wants to do it for $32. So you negotiate a discount, shake hands on it, and then come back and go, well, as it turns out, I know you're giving us a $15 discount, but we need you to knock another $8. We're not negotiating buying a used credenza on Facebook Marketplace here. That's the confusing part about this. We have to get back to, having some sense here. Having a little bit of sense. But That kind of attitude does it brought up the question that Selectman Tommy McKenzie from Ward 1 asked during the meeting on Monday afternoon.
Selectman McKenzie.
Do we have an interlocal agreement right now?
We do not. I have reached out, Selectman McKenzie, at least 2 or 3 times to the to the county attorney, Attorney Frazier, following up on the interlocal agreement, and then the AG's opinion was brought to our attention, and have followed up with him several times hence. So, as you all know, interlocal agreements, once they have been agreed upon, they still need to go before the AG's office for approval. I did present an interlocal agreement to you all based on the language out of the MOU, but that needs to be modified, and then the interlocal agreement would need to be amended.
Now, that was very clear. There is no current interlocal agreement between the city of McComb and Pike County, which means the county has zero obligation to accept any prisoners from the city of McComb. That's literally the purpose of the interlocal agreement, is to make the arrangements and set up the deal wherein prisoners can be taken to the Pike County Jail and incarcerated there. That's literally what the interlocal agreement is. And when she said there is no interlocal agreement in answer to that question, that means there's zero obligation for the county to help out here if they don't want to, unless there's some sort of requirement in the state constitution or the United States Constitution that says the county has to accept the city's prisoners.
Do they have a constitutional requirement to keep our prisoners, since we do not have an MOU? Could they refuse them?
I'll have to research that, whether they have a constitutional
I'm
requirement.
just wondering if they have to take them.
I'll look it up.
Not there are options out there.
Okay.
It is.
I think if they didn't, then you all have a concern around safety in the community if they didn't take them, and that would be transferred to them.
I suspect it will be discovered after research, because heaven knows we didn't bother to look into any of this before we started trying to throw our non-existent weight around. I suspect you will find there is no constitutional requirement. And if there is no interlocal agreement, well, that opens up the county and the sheriff's department to tell the city of McComb to go get stuffed. And Tuesday, that's what happened. Specifically on Tuesday, they told the city of McComb at the Pike County Sheriff's Department that not only were they no longer accepting any people charged with a crime from McComb into the jail, Sheriff Jones also wants the city to get all of its prisoners that are currently in the jail out within 45 days, except any that the county is legally required to hold, which in this case would include anybody that has been bound over to a grand jury. But if you arrest somebody, you got to take them someplace. Well, if you're in McComb and making that arrest, the Pike County Jail is, for the moment, not an option at all. Where else you going to take them? Where are you going? What's the next option? Have we explored that? Or are we dealing from such a ridiculous sense of inflated superiority that we can't conceive of the idea that everybody isn't going to do what we tell them to do? It's working out great, by the way. It's really going well. So, he told them to get the prisoners out within 45 days. Tuesday is when he made the announcement, Sheriff Jones did, that the Pike County Jail was no longer accepting prisoners from the city of McComb. 45 days from Tuesday, Christmas Day 2025. And I just think that is a wonderful thing. I have here was actually sent in. Apparently word got out that I was doing this special edition tonight. So word got out and made it to the Pike County Jail. And they actually, I don't know what they think I'm doing here, but they gave me a request. So I'm going to play their request because I'm a nice guy. It's the holiday season. You're supposed to be caring for other people unless they try to bully you into doing something you don't have to do. By the way, the last time the mayor and some members of the city board and city administration in McComb tried to put their foot down and explain to Sheriff Wally Jones that they didn't want them in this town. They didn't want them in McComb. You stay out of here. The next day, Sheriff Jones showed up with a task force and a helicopter. That should have been a learning opportunity that there's not a lot of bullying that's going to happen here. Apparently it didn't work. So now I have to deal with taking requests from the Pike County Jail. 45 days the city of McComb has to get their prisoners out of the Pike County Jail. And they're not taking any more. Got to have them out by Christmas. So this is going out to, hold on, let me see, Big Mike. It's a request to the Pike County Jail. They requested this, and apparently they're all humming it right now because, well, what's the other option?
I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me.
Just when you think things can't get stupider, the McComb Board of Mayor and Selectmen hold another meeting. We'll talk more about this. The Pike County Board of Supervisors meeting on Friday morning. I suspect this will come up in the conversation. So we'll check back in over the weekend and I'll give you an update on how things are going. I'll just go ahead and warn you in advance. You know how it's going to be going. I will see you again every Monday through Thursday morning, 9:06 on 93.5 FM. And then on Friday mornings at 6:06 on the morning show on the SuperTalk Mississippi Network. My friend, I'll see you then.
In Mississippi, with our ever-changing weather, termites and household pests can disrupt your family life and take a toll on your home. Call Family Termite and let us help protect your home. 601-933-1014. Or reach us at www.family-termite.com.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.